All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special edition of the TJ's Talkbox. Pigskin Mafia Podcast presents TJ's Talkbox. Now, let me tell you something, folks. We are live after the election. It has been a crazy week for me personally, but let me tell you, the people finally took a stand yesterday. Everybody answered the door or answered the call. And let me tell you, Trump's back in office, baby. And guess what? I endorsed the man. So if you hate it, who cares? But anyway, we'll get into that later. That's our main event. Also, Texas A&M crumbles against South Carolina. Seems like a couple of guys on a small podcast said that. I wonder who said that. But we'll get into that here in a little bit after the college football recap. We recap the craziness that happened, the chaotic week of college football, and then NFL. We'll dive into our 4 games that we predicted. I'll let y'all know what mine and JMO's predictions were and how many we got right and how many we got wrong. Now, this was more of a wild card week for me and JMO. Like, we only picked 3 games that were close. Like, we were gonna, or we picked the same team, basically 3 games in total. The rest of them, we picked one against the other. And I got to tell you, I'm disappointed in a lot of teams, but I am very impressed with some teams. Let me tell you. But let's go ahead and get started with our game of the week. Penn State at home against Ohio State. Once undefeated, no more. I've said it before, James Franklin cannot win the big games. I've been saying that for the last couple of years. Why are we repeating the same story with James Franklin? He cannot win you games. He cannot win you big games like Ohio State and Michigan. It's embarrassing as a program as illustrious as Penn State. Let me tell you, I'm just like, I can't deal with it anymore. Me and JMO picked Ohio State. Now this next game, I went a little bit on the edge here. Basically, I thought about home field advantage and how much this field scares me, you know. For those just tuning in, I am talking about college football recap. I was really nervous about this game because of the home environment. And I picked Arkansas to win over Ole Miss, who was ranked 19th at the time. Ole Miss kicked the shit out of Arkansas, and it was over by the time halftime started. Yeah, I'm never picking Arkansas ever again. JMO did pick Ole Miss in this game. I went with the wild card in this one. I went with Arkansas. Next game we're going to talk about, Big Ten matchup. Number 24, Illinois, taking on Minnesota. Now, I thought this Minnesota defense was going to give Luke Altmaier trouble, and guess what? Minnesota did that. Minnesota gave Altmaier a lot of trouble in this game. And I'm very impressed with this Minnesota defense. I'm glad I picked them. I picked them to win 21-13. It was close. I think it was 22-17, if I'm not mistaken, for those that are just jumping into the podcast. Illinois is an okay team. They're mediocre at best. J-Mo did pick Illinois as well. So next game, one of the few games that me and J-Mo agreed on, Oregon at Michigan. Now Michigan's a deflated team. They won the national championship last year. They lost too many guys. I went with Oregon. I thought Oregon was going to win pretty decisively, and they did. And J-Mo thought Oregon was going to shut them out. I don't know how you could say they're going to shut out Michigan, but they didn't. I don't think Oregon's the best team in college football. I don't think there is a best team in college football, to be fair. I think there's just a lot of fluidity going on right now in college football. And there's certainly not a best team in college football. It seems like it because Oregon's undefeated and has a 7-year starter, but at the same time, I just don't see anyone being a pure dominant team like we would have saw in 2022 with Georgia, or a 2019 LSU Tigers team that decimated pretty much everybody they came across, except for, you know who. I was really, really looking forward to this next game here. Florida versus Georgia. Now, I don't know what J-Mo was thinking here at first, but it got me thinking a little bit afterwards. I was like, maybe Florida's got something going on with DJ Lagway. And they were rolling early in the game. I was watching it with my boy Richard, and we were sitting there watching youth football for his, I think it was his brother-in-law playing youth football. But anyway, I was sitting there watching the Georgia and Florida game, and I gotta tell you, I love that rivalry. I'm not a big historian on that rivalry. I wish I could know more about it. I wish I could learn from that rivalry more, how much it means to the SEC, but man, Georgia came alive in the second half. I think Georgia is the best second half team in college football. I will say that about Georgia. I believe after that Alabama loss, they really turned it around and became the second best, or the first, or the best second half team in college football. I genuinely think that now that I'm looking at it. I thought they executed well in the second half against Florida, shut them down basically, and DJ Lagway ended up getting hurt, unfortunately. I love DJ Lagway ever since he played at Willis High School in Texas, here in Texas anyway. I really enjoyed watching him play this season. Hopefully he comes back in. Now, Texas Tech at number 11, Iowa State. Me and J-Mo had a disagreement about this one. J-Mo said that Iowa State was going to win. Guess who said that Texas Tech was going to beat Iowa State? Because they were due for a loss, and that they are the most overhyped, undefeated team in all of college football. This guy. Now, I'm not ragging on J-Mo because we had the same prediction record, believe it or not. I thought he did well this week, honestly. He did really well, and I'm very proud of him. I had Texas Tech winning 38-35. I thought it was going to be a shootout, but it ended up being a slugfest. And Texas Tech went on to win 23-22. It was incredible. It was a good game. I thought both defenses played really well against those offenses. Morton played his ass off in that game. I was really impressed with Morton. Like, I knew he was good, but good Lord, he played really well. Oh, boy. Now I get to talk about number 10 Texas A&M. All these, okay, I'm going to save that conversation here in a little bit. But Texas A&M goes into Columbia, South Carolina. And let me tell you, they got flat out embarrassed. They couldn't stop Lenora Sellers. And I was sitting there watching the game while I was playing the new Black Ops 6 because that's my generation, you know. Lenora Sellers, Rocket Sanders, Raheem Sanders from South Carolina, Arkansas transfer. I mean, they could not stop those two. It was crazy. Like, Lenora Sellers was looking like freaking, I don't know, Randall Cunningham out there when he is a slightly better version of Anthony Richardson at best, in my opinion. But, man, that shit talk from Casey Smith from Barstool Sports against South Carolina. Woo! Did she eat crow? Did she eat crow? I saw her Twitter. She responded, I am so sorry. I'm going to eat crow, whatever. Good on her. At least she admitted it. But, you know, I actually picked A&M to win this game because of the simple fact that I thought A&M was going to have a little bit of trouble with South Carolina, but I thought South Carolina usually tends to fold. But they did not fold. They scored 24 unanswered points in the second half. Rather impressive, if you ask me. I was really impressed with South Carolina in this game. It was by far one of my favorite South Carolina games to watch. Not because they beat A&M. It's just the way they played. It was absolutely tremendous. The way they played out there, they looked good out there. I actually cannot believe how well they played in this game against South Carolina. I was really impressed. And their defense, they made them eat crow. They made everybody eat crow. I'm going to tell you that right now. Woo! I got something to say about you Aggie fans later on, but this team made me eat crow a bit. Louisville goes into Clemson. Clemson, I thought, is on a hot streak. They're looking good. They're actually taking care of business, you know. And go over there. Sorry, my dog's trying to steal attention from the screen. They go into Clemson, right? And I thought Clemson was going to, you know, just beat the hell out of Louisville because Louisville lost their chance at an ACC championship to me. They really haven't been looking that great. No, Tyler Shuck and Louisville shut them down. And that Louisville defense really gave Cade Klubnik some trouble in that game. And went out there and beat that ass, 33-21. I was really impressed. Wow. Good on J-Mo for calling that game. I mean, he said 14-7, but he did pick Louisville to win. So, J-Mo, if you're watching, 3 claps for you, my boy. All right. 2 more games, and then we'll talk about our college football main event. Iowa versus Wisconsin. You know, I don't know what to say about Wisconsin. They look like hammered dog shit. Iowa looks like a completely different team. I don't even know how the hell they fucking put up the amount of points that they do. I don't know what's going on over there at Des Moines. Can someone tell me what's going on with Hawkeye Nation? Because they're kicking ass right now. Even though they're 6-3 right now, they're looking really good right now. With just 3 more games left to play. But Iowa won that game. Me and J-Mo both agreed on that one. So that was our 3 games right there in college football. And then the last game was really telling. You got to put some respect in this team right here. Southern Methodist University. Okay. They are the only team to ever get a death penalty ever in college football. There have been violations. There have been scholarships stripped. But there have never been death penalties like SMU. SMU is the only school to ever get a death penalty. And that was back with Eric Dickerson days and just the amount of talent that they were getting. And this was way before NIL for you youngsters that are watching this wonderful podcast. I gotta tell you, Pitt got their fucking asses spanked by SMU. And now, I might be bold to say this. Right now, the best team in the ACC right now has to be SMU. Is BYU really that good? Or am I tripping? Hey, go over there. Go over there. Go over there. Sorry, my dog. Is SMU really that good? I think they just proved that they are the best team in the ACC. I think Miami and SMU are going to meet in the ACC championship. And I think SMU is the real deal, guys. I'm not bullshitting. They beat the hell out of Pitt. I was really shocked. Because the game before, Pitt surprised me. And then they lay an egg against SMU. SMU proved me wrong. They proved JMO wrong. SMU might be the real fucking deal, folks. And we got to put some fucking respect in their name. We do. Because at the end of the day, I'm looking for the best team. I'm looking for the best program, the best coached. I mean, Rhett Lashley's got something going on over there at SMU. And don't blame it on NIL or transfer portal because they are fucking kicking ass and taking names. I don't even give a shit about all that. But that concludes my recap. Now, I am going to recap a specific game that I did mention already, Texas A&M and South Carolina. This is just to address all you Aggies out there. Where are y'all at? Where are y'all at? Jump in the chat right now. I want all Aggies lining up in this chat that chirped at me the week before the South Carolina game. That chirped about, oh, are we in your top 10 now? Are we? I kept my mouth shut. I was nice to y'all. Y'all had a good win. But what did I say the week before? Even though I picked y'all, you always tend to crumble after a big win. And why is that? Because it's just the way it goes with A&M. And I have tried, and I have tried, and I have tried to explain this to A&M fans. A&M fans are too naive. They're not stupid, but they're naive. They think they're matched up well against Texas when really they are so unbalanced. It's not even funny. And that South Carolina game proved it. That LSU game, believe it or not, proved it. We saw a terrible first half by A&M. And then the second half, they made a really great adjustment against Garrett Nussmeier. What the hell happened in the second half against South Carolina? South Carolina exposed y'all. South Carolina made y'all soft. But all you Aggie fans want to chirp at me after a big win against LSU. Who might lose to Alabama, who lost to Vanderbilt. Go over there. Go over there. Go over there. Go over there. But you want to chirp at me over a top 25 that didn't even matter. That didn't even matter. Because I had Texas at number 1 at the time. Hell, I had them at number 5. And guess what? The college football playoff rankings agree with me on that. What I don't understand is the fact that y'all talk shit after a game and y'all lose and then y'all go silent. Or no, the ones that chirped at me, the so-called A&M faithful, the 12th man. What? Where were y'all? Where are y'all? I'm just curious. It's just like the liberals chirping about how Kamala's going to beat Donald Trump's ass. What happened? Trump won, and now nowhere to be found. This is Aggie behavior. It's a cult mindset. I'm just waiting until November 30th so Texas can whoop the dog shit out of you in Kyle Field. That is your only advantage, is Kyle Field. And guess what? We own that motherfucking stadium. But I'm going to move on. Enough time's been wasted. I've already talked about you, Saps, for a long time. 24 unanswered points. That's unbelievable. By a so-called top 5 defense. Someone told me that the other day, and they were A&M fan, and I was like, you're fucking delusional. You're nowhere near top 5. But anyway, moving on. So, NFL Week 9 recap. So, I'm only going to recap 4 games right here. Denver at Baltimore. Wow. Baltimore dominated this game. They absolutely rubbed Denver in the pavement. Even though Bo Nix had a receiving touchdown and he looked decent in that game, they got their asses whipped by Baltimore. Me and J-Mo picked Baltimore to win this game. J-Mo had the better spread than I did. I thought it was going to be a close game, honestly. But, man, good win for John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. Detroit travels to Green Bay. And I had Green Bay winning this game, and J-Mo had Detroit winning this game. I was really impressed with Detroit. They played a really good football game, fundamentally sound. They are the best looking team in the NFL right now. Next game, we're going to talk about the Minnesota Vikings at home against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are shitty. The Vikings look decent. But Joe Flacco looks better than AR5. I can tell you that. AR5 was tired on the sidelines. He was sitting there going, ooh. It's going to make me yawn, you know. But Minnesota wins that game. And then Monday night, Tampa Bay in Arrowhead taking on Kansas City. It ends up being in overtime. J-Mo had Tampa Bay winning 42-35. I had the Kansas City Chiefs winning 27-21. the Chiefs ended up winning 30-24 in overtime with a Kareem Hunt touchdown in the end zone. The Chiefs are like the worst undefeated team in NFL history. I'm just going to say that. They look awful. They look fucking awful. I could not watch them, and also I was getting ready for a family event also, so I don't know. I can't watch NFL anymore, but I got 3 out of 4 right, and JMO got 50%. So, all right, final topic, our main event. How good does it feel to be right? How good does it feel to be a part of something that it's the right thing to do? Now, I'm an advocate of, I don't care who you vote for, but make sure you vote for the right person, right? And I endorsed Donald Trump on here. I did it with JMO on here. A lot of people agree with me. Some people disagree with me. Some people don't even like it and don't even vote, So, Donald Trump decimated Kamala Harris. And this is the final politics that I'm going to even talk about, because I am so glad we don't have to have political calls anymore. I'm so glad that we don't have political commercials. I'm about done with politics. This is like crazy to me, but now I'm not a MAGA guy. I'm not like this. Oh, make America great again. I'm not that type of guy. I was in 2020. I could tell you that straight up. But I'm more of I want to do the right thing. I want to vote for the right causes, And honestly, the people that voted for Kamala should be as ashamed of themselves. They really should have. I don't see how you could vote for somebody that is against you. Whereas Donald Trump, he's for the people. He got shot at twice and still won. He got clipped in the ear and still won. If that's not iconic, then I don't know what is. That's iconic up there, the Longhorn with the calf. But it ain't as iconic as this shirt. But Coach JB's shirt, shout out to Coach JB. Poetic justice is what we just witnessed. Political poetic justice. Probably the best political comeback ever in the United States history. Man gets elected in 2016. Gets rigged in 2020. Runs for president again. Gets shot at. Gets called Hitler. All these different names and getting chastised by these media personnel. And then in 2024, I started opening. This is when I was like, after the first time Trump got shot at and got clipped in the ear, you started seeing people waking up and saying, holy shit. You started seeing guys like Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, Nick Bosa start speaking out and saying, that's our guy. That is a man for the people. Start seeing people that come out of nowhere like Hulk Hogan, Undertaker. Like it's crazy. Like I never would have thought that I would ever see such an iconic campaign, no matter who it is. You know, it could be Republican or Democrat. I'm an independent person. I'm an independent thinker. I just vote for what's right, what I feel like is right. You know, and it's it's crazy how I never would have thought I would have grown up seeing a president get shot at, let alone get his ear clipped by someone. You know, it doesn't matter. But this was the craziest campaign I'd ever witnessed in my entire life. I lived on this earth for 28 years, and I had never seen a more iconic, poetic campaign. Truly. And this is about the only time I'm ever going to get political, is the post-election with Trump winning. Now, will I be as political and proud today in the next few years? Probably not. Because I don't think we'll ever have anybody like Donald J. Trump, where he's a businessman. He's not a politician. He's a businessman. And we're about to see it's about to get real quick. It's about to get fucking nuts with these people on the left, like Joy Behar's dumbass. Whoopi Goldberg, fucking, I won't say his name. Sonny Hostin, the fucking, he pulled a hamstring, but neurologically, he can't, he doesn't, he don't have a concussion. Dumbass bitch. Anyway, I had to sip that sweetness right there. The sweetness of a landslide. And this is where A&M comes from. This is where I'm getting A&M. It felt like a 24-0 second half victory for South Carolina with Donald J. Trump, and Kamala Harris was Texas A&M. It was so crazy. Like, you know, I haven't been in the right state of mind. Last couple of days I've been dealing with going to a funeral and getting to see family I haven't seen in over 10 years. And shout out to them, first of all. I wanna thank them for even acknowledging the podcast, which I didn't even want to think about that. I wanted to think about my great grandmother that was there at the funeral home, and they asked about the podcast and when's your next show and all this other stuff, and that's what keeps me going, is this right here. Without this, I probably would have lost my fucking mind, honestly. And I didn't do yesterday's show because of the fact that I was still grieving and still kind of processing a lot of things that have gone on since I've left for the military. And it really messes with your mind when something like that happens, when you don't see family that you haven't seen in over 10 years, like, you start to think a lot of things. Like, what could I have done? I wish I could go back in time and change things, but you know, I'm grateful for where I'm at today, and I'm grateful for a lot of things and a lot of people, you know, and honestly, I if it made me, whatever grudge I held paused, at least paused, or maybe may have been washed. Honestly, I am truly blessed to have such support from from that side of the family. I'm truly blessed to have support at all. And that's where you guys come in. That's where you guys make my day. I know we didn't start off early enough to where the algorithm was going to hit a lot better. Um, but it is what it is. I honestly am glad that that myself and JMO have support doing this, and it means a lot. I know I'm just talking shit about A&M and talking about the election. Who gives a fuck about all that, honestly? When it comes down to family and seeing family that you haven't seen in a long time, it really makes you think. It really makes you want to see them again. It makes you really miss them, and and there is a lot of guilt on my side. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There was a lot of guilt heading into there. Um, I missed a couple of funerals beforehand, and I got to see the grave sites, and let's just say I got a little emotional. Obviously, I'm getting emotional right now, but I'm I'm toughing it out. I'm toughing it out, guys. So shut up. But when when you have someone so influential in your life and they're gone, it really messes with your head. Like, I don't think I'm truly over it yet. I don't think I'm truly ever gonna get over it. But I'm blessed. That's what I would say. I'm truly blessed that I got a chance to be around her, that she was a big part of my life, and I even got up to talk to her one final time. She may have not been able to talk back to me physically, but she was there. I could feel it. And for those that don't know, that was my great grandmother I was talking about. Um, Very emotional. I was very emotional, and got up and gave a speech. I didn't even remember what I said. All I remember is talking about how unique she was. Like I said, she would go up to a random person in our family, and she would talk about what their interests were. With me, it was football, and this is part of the reason why I do this. So it's kind of a tribute uh, kind of a tribute to my great grandmother. This, but we'll be back on tomorrow. I'm gonna get a hold of JMO, and we're gonna have a full show. It's gonna be predictions and some other topics. It may be just predictions because we might be running a little bit too late for the show. It may be just me on the talk box again. Hopefully I can get more viewers. Hopefully we can get more viewers that enjoy football and finally over this politics shit. Because we finally got our president. That's great. But let's get back to football, okay? So I want to thank each and every one of you people that watch. If you don't follow. If you watch, hit the like button. It means a lot, especially with what's been going on in the past week. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for y'all support. If it wasn't for y'all support, I wouldn't be doing this. I really wouldn't. So, thank you guys for watching. I will be back tomorrow night. If not, if JMO doesn't come on, I will be back on the Talkbox. And I'll just go through my predictions. But, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. See you tomorrow. Good night. Mwah. And good night. Bang.